Biblically Centered Kids.
Welcome to the Biblically Centered Kids podcast. Today is a great Sunday. My name is Miss Danika, and I'm excited to share some fun things with you and then guide you on a draw along. Today is August 25th, 2024. All right, a fun national holiday today, and a yummy one at that. Today is National Banana Split Day. Yep, that's right. It's time to go bananas for banana splits. I'm usually not one for bananas, but if you top it with ice cream, well, I guess I'm in. This tasty treat normally has chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream all scooped on top of a halved banana. And there's usually some whipped cream, maybe some nuts, and a cherry on top. Have you ever had a banana split? What is your favorite ice cream flavor between the three I mentioned, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? Shout it out. Oh, yum. I love all of these at different times, but the one I think I love the most has got to be chocolate. Yum.
Yummy.
All right, well, now that we have those tasty treats on our mind, let's jump right into today's draw along. We are going to draw a picture of our New Testament story from this week so that we can remember this week's biblical family virtue better. If you remember, virtue H says, we humbly admit our mistakes, submit to correction, and accept discipline. So why don't you grab a piece of paper and pens or pencils or crayons, and we'll begin in just a bit. All right, if you remember from our New Testament story this week, it was all about Jesus and those scribes and Pharisees bringing that woman to him and wanting, Jesus to give his judgment on her. And then what did Jesus do? It says he wound up writing in the dirt. Now, we don't know what he was writing, but all these men wound up turning away and leaving, and no one accused this woman of her sin anymore. And I know I've heard actually a lot of people, they theorize that maybe Jesus was writing down the sins that each of those men had done. Because Jesus is God, and so he knows all of our thoughts, all of our actions. And so maybe Jesus was just kind of writing those out. And so maybe those men were like, oh no, he knows, and then walking away. So today's drawing, we are going to draw of that story. And I'm just going to tell you about it, and then we'll jump right in. So we're going to show Jesus kind of kneeling down, writing in the sand or in the dirt. And we're going to draw shadows of the men maybe standing in front of him as they're watching what he's doing. Okay? So I've got my paper turned vertically, which is the long side up and down. And I'm going to start drawing Jesus in the center. And so how I'm going to have him standing or squatting, basically, it's kind of with one leg up, he's got his arm kind of on it, and the other leg on the ground so he can be writing in the sand. So if you even want to get on the ground and kind of position yourself how you think Jesus would be as he's writing in the sand, that might help you kind of understand how we're going to draw him. So I'm going to first draw his back. And then I'm going to draw, he's going to be looking down at the sand or the dirt. So I'm going to draw his shoulder and then actually the top of his head facing down in the dirt. And maybe Jesus had kind of longer hair or something, so I can't actually see his face. Okay, so now that I've got his head bent down, I'm going to come back and draw his arm stretching out, writing in the dirt. I'm going to draw like his tunic sleeve, and then maybe his hand extending outward from that down to the ground. And he's writing with maybe his pointer finger. So I'm going to draw that. Okay, so he's doing that in the dirt. And then I'm going to bring the rest of his tunic down. For his one leg he's bent on. Maybe it's kind of down. You can see like his sandaled foot kind of up. And then his other knee, I'm going to have his other knee kind of up near his head, where his other arm is going to be crossed over it. So it just kind of looks like he's squatting there with one foot up, that knee up with his hand bent over it. He's looking in the dirt at where he's drawing. All right. And now I might kind of draw some squiggles maybe in the dirt, but kind of some squiggles of him walking or writing in the dirt. And then down towards the bottom left of my page, I'm actually going to draw some shadows of men who are maybe standing around waiting to see what Jesus does. So I'm going to draw 4 shadows, and they're just going to kind of be the head plus the shoulders, since they're standing up and that sun's maybe behind them shining down on the ground. So I'm even going to tilt my paper just a little bit, and I'm going to kind of draw them diagonally down here. So I'm going to do one silhouette, one shadow, and then another head, maybe a little shorter. Then I'm going to scoot over and draw another silhouette or shadow, and then one more. So those, when I go to color, I'm going to color those in really dark because they're shadows on the ground. All right. And then if you wanted to, you can fill in and put your horizon line. You could put, maybe Jesus is at a well or houses. And if you even wanted to, you could draw the woman behind him. I will leave that open for you and what you decide to do on your picture. And so if we just kind of step back, how did your drawing turn out? Were you able to accomplish what you wanted to? Does it communicate the story? I would encourage you to use this drawing to tell a parent or a sibling or a friend what we learned about this week and how that story shows us this week's virtue. It's important to remember what we've learned, and so this drawing will really help get that in our brain. Well, thank you so much for listening and drawing with me today. I can't wait for you to join us tomorrow for a new week and a new biblical family virtue. Until next time.